Hey everybody, what's up? It's Josh here, back with another Kansas City Chiefs related video. And today we are doing the first ever Show Me Football live Chiefs call-in show. We're doing a lunchtime chat today for those of you who are on your lunch break or those of you who are usually free around this time. I'm going to try to do this in the morning from now on after every Victory Monday, where we do a live call-in, so a live call-in show. So anyways, how it's going to work is in a minute here, I'm going to put my number on the screen. And for those of you that want to call in and chat with me, ask questions or have questions and whatnot, I will let you guys say what you want to say. And we're just going to have a fun time interacting. I'm not sure how well this is going to go because I kind of sprung it on everyone out of the blue here. But I'm going to try to fix the lighting. Give me 1 second. I kind of sprung this on everyone out of the blue, but I figured it would be a fun little thing for us to try out because I want to hear from you guys. I really do. And there's a lot to talk about from this game still. But also for those of you that don't want to call in, if you're not comfortable with calling in, you can also leave comments in the chat. And I can always answer them, certainly. A couple things I want to talk about before I open up the phone lines, though. Some things that concern me. And then a couple things that I thought were really positive. One thing that concerned me was the lack of use of other guys not named Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce in the passing game. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce are awesome, and you can't blame Mahomes for always throwing to them because they're always open and they're always super productive. Why would you be any more comfortable throwing to someone else? I don't blame Mahomes for that. But at the same time, if one of them goes down, how do we know this offense isn't going to miss a beat when they clearly don't trust other guys outside of those two? Like Mecole Hardman, his breakout season that everyone wanted him to have, not off to a great start. And he also showed that he lacks common sense awareness running out of bounds before getting the first down. A good thing that I did like from yesterday, though, I thought rookie Nick Bolton looked really good. And as a Mizzou fan, I love that. I love to see him do good. He made some big stops. He has really good tackling for him. Love to see that. That being said, now though, I do want to open up the phone lines for those of you to call in if you want. That's my number on the screen, and if you want, I will let you guys call in, and you can tell me what you want to say. And we can just have a nice chat on here. I figured it would be fun. Again, I kind of sprung this on everyone out of the blue, so I don't know how it's going to go, how many of you are actually going to be willing. But for those of you that are wanting to call, go ahead. I'll let you say what you want to say, and we can just have a good time. I'm hoping to do this a lot in the future for every Victory Monday. I'm going to try to preferably do it earlier in the morning, but we'll see. Anyway, we got our first caller right now. Just give me 1 second here. All right, caller from the 816. What's up? Tell us who you are and what you want to talk about. Oh, and they just hung up. Go ahead and try that again if you want to say something. But we had a caller there for a second, and then they hung up. But seriously, if you want to call me and talk about the game, I'm more than happy to do so. Just let me know. Just give me a call. And if you're not comfortable with calling, just leave questions in the chat, and we can talk about those. Marlon Suddington is watching, I see. Eric from Twitter, yes, it's me. Eddie Rose, what's up? Good to see you enjoying my Mizzou videos too. Anyways, we got our caller from the 816 coming back. Here we go. All right, caller from the 816, what's up? Tell us who you are and what you want to talk about.
My name is Marlon Suddington.
What's up, bro?
Yesterday.
What's up, bro?
Nothing. Just we had a good game. I mean, the defense wasn't good in particular. I was sitting here contemplating life every time the defense got on ball, just like you were on Twitter.
Yeah, you know how I am on Twitter.
Yes, I was talking to you a lot. I was that one user.
Yeah, nah, I mean, I have fun on Twitter. I overreact a lot, but it's only because that's just how I am. And then if it goes the other way, well, then I'm happy because it means they proved me wrong. But yeah, the defense yesterday was not good. But I think it is worth mentioning that they were missing three key starters at each level of the defense. Clark, who I'm not high on anyway. Willie Gay, that's a big loss. And Tyrann Mathieu, obviously, he's the heartbeat of that secondary. So not having them contributed a lot to why the Chiefs gave up 500 yards of total offense.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Anything else that stood out to you from the game?
Mahomes, obviously, and the fact that we scored more points than we did in the Super Bowl. Yay!
I know. I mean, Mahomes just. I should be used to it by now. I shouldn't worry as much as I do because he does prove time and time again that he has things under control and he can strike at any moment, as we saw that huge 70-yard bomb to Tyreek Hill that got us back into the game and got us rolling again was just amazing. And yeah, we scored more points than the Super Bowl, so that's progress. And against a really, honestly, like a really talented defense, like the Browns are no slouch, so it was a good test to have early in the season.
Yeah. And then we got to play Lamar next week.
Yeah.
Which is, you could say that's depressing in a way, but it's not.
Honestly, to me, the Ravens they're going to be an easier matchup than the Browns because I don't think their offensive line is nearly as good as the Browns, and their rushing attack has been depleted. I mean, we've seen J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and who am I forgetting? Go down. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
You know, they also got one more running back. He's at QB.
Yeah, Lamar.
And also about going back to our game yesterday. You know the meme, F it Tyreek down there somewhere. That was fun.
Yeah, it sure was. I'm looking forward to the Ravens game, though. And, I mean, I think getting Tyron back on defense is going to be huge for that game. And I think Mahomes is going to pick that defense apart again, especially with Marcus Peters not there. I mean, really, they picked apart the Marcus Peters matchup from last year. But even though I've been hard on McColl, McColl's had a lot of success against the Ravens. I think this is another big McColl game, potentially, against the Baltimore Ravens coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. Like, we did good. Mahomes threw 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. He's still undefeated in September, which happens to be the month when my dad was born and my mama, and my dad's a Raiders fan, so he's probably going to rub me something, even though we did good, sort of.
Yeah, his numbers in the month of September are absolutely insane, and he remains undefeated in the month of September too. And since he's became the starters, the Chiefs have started out 4-0 or better every year.
Yeah, I've been watching since I was born, which was in 2008.
Yeah,
because my auntie got me into the Chiefs.
That's awesome.
Alex Smith, I remember when he was our guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have not. Oh, I just found this out. With Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes, we have not had a losing season yet.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's a great time to be a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, and I tell myself, even in the Super Bowl, I was telling myself that Super Bowl this year, even though that day a little part of me died, we still tried, just like Mahomes.
Well, Marlon, I'll ask you, and then I'll go ahead and we'll end the call there. But I did want to ask you something before we move on, and that's, I was talking about earlier, if you caught it, and I talked about it yesterday too, how they didn't really get a ton of people involved in the passing game besides McColl and Tyreek. And I did make that video several days ago about Brandon Cooks and maybe acquiring him or just someone that can be a reliable number 2. We talked about it all off season, but what would you be interested in a move like that? And are you at all concerned, or do you think the Chiefs are comfortable with what they have?
Okay, we could make a move for somebody, and we potentially can get better. But with the people we have, if we can go back-to-back Super Bowls, even in last year without Sammy Watkins, we can still have a competent team to get to the Super Bowl, get in the playoffs against really good teams like the Browns and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to if they can stay healthy. My concern just is if they don't stay healthy, and let's say Tyreek or Travis are out for an extended period, I'm just a tad bit worried.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks, Marlon, for calling in, and also appreciate the constant support on my channel, man. But I'm going to let you go, all right?
All right.
Sounds good, man. See ya. All right, so that was Marlon Suttington. Again, he's a regular on my channel. It was good to hear from him. And if you guys want to call into the show as well, there's the number on the bottom left of your screen, 636-875-2782. That's my number, and we can talk Chiefs if you want. Another point from yesterday that I wanted to make was that man, the pass rush, they did not get a ton of pressure on the quarterback. They had 2 sacks in the game, only 2 sacks, and both of them came from Chris Jones. And while Chris Jones is a monster, and we all know that, the point of emphasis this offseason, the biggest point of emphasis was the offensive line, and they addressed the offensive line, and they did great. I loved what they did along the offensive line. But the second biggest reason we lost the Super Bowl is that we did not get any pressure on Tom Brady. He faced the lowest pressure he ever has in his entire career in a Super Bowl, only 4 pressures. And to me, that said we needed to help the defensive line. And the only move we made to address the defensive end position was to move Chris Jones, who's our best pass rusher from the interior, out there. And I understand they signed Jerron Reed, but to me, the big issue was the edge pressure. They already have one of the best interior rotations in the NFL now with Jerron Reed in the mix. And when you move Chris Jones back inside, but the edge pressure continues to be a problem because they've gone down in edge pressure from the position every single year since Chris Jones's 15 sack year from the middle of the defense. You have to find other guys that can take pressure off of him. I don't trust Frank Clark to take pressure off Chris Jones. He's not someone who draws double teams. The whole double team excuse with Frank Clark is non-existent. Tano Passanio got double teamed last year more than Frank Clark, but you see guys like Melvin Ingram yesterday have a great game in his first game for the Steelers, coming back healthy this year. That was someone that visited the Chiefs. They failed to sign him. He sat on the free agency market for a long time. And I'm sitting there yesterday going, man, wouldn't it be nice to have a Melvin Ingram right now? It just, I don't know. It frustrates me a little bit that they didn't get a lot of pressure on the QB after that was one of the biggest problems in the offseason, going into the offseason. Really, I mean, wide receiver and 2 and defensive end, those were 2 big issues going into the offseason, and they're still 2 big issues now that this season is underway, and it just frustrates me. But yeah, guys, just again, 636-875-2782 if you want to call into the show and talk Chiefs with me, have anything to say about yesterday's game. And then also, for those of you watching, like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And you can also support the channel by donating through Super Chat, which is always very well appreciated. We got a handful of people in here. So, again, if you guys want to call into the show, go ahead, call that number in the bottom left. One thing I did like, again, from the Chiefs yesterday was Patrick Mahomes, of course. Patrick Mahomes was amazing yet again. And we really don't talk enough about how he puts up 300-yard games like they're nothing. I mean, he just, if you look at the number of 300-yard games he has, it's amazing the pace that he's on. Usually when you had Alex Smith, you were lucky to get a 300-yard, 4 total touchdown game. Like, Mahomes just does it like it's nothing, man. He had the 1 rushing touchdown, and he had 3 passing touchdowns, 2 of them to Kelsey, 1 of them to Tyreek. He just looked amazing. He strong-armed us back in that game, and that's what separates the Chiefs from the Browns a lot is the difference at quarterback. Baker Mayfield, I'm still not sure he's the guy. He had 2 drives in the past 2 Chiefs versus Browns meetings in which he could have won the game for the Browns, and he either messed up or, as we saw yesterday, he threw that interception at the most crucial time, and it really hurt the Browns, and they didn't win. He threw a pick at the worst possible time, and he was the reason that they were in the position to win that game, but he also threw it away at the same time. Those of you watching, you can call in at 636-875-2782. Look forward from hearing from some of you, those of you that are watching. This is the first call-in show, like I said. Kind of sprung this on everyone, but I really enjoy doing this. If you guys want to get in on the action, please go ahead and call. But anyway, let's get into some of the questions and comments in the chat. Eric said he was watching an astronomy class. Looks like he's gone now, though. Marlon says that was fun. I appreciate you calling in, Marlon, again. And then he says next week Josh is probably going to go through it. Yeah, you're probably right. Against the Ravens, he highlights. I mean, yeah, the Ravens, they're a tough opponent. Like, I don't want to act like the Ravens are this team that the Chiefs absolutely should beat. I mean, they should beat them, yes. But Lamar Jackson, he's only a season removed from being the MVP. I mean, I still think Lamar is overrated in some aspects, but they have made improvements to that roster. The Chiefs are also facing 2 former teammates in Le'Veon Bell and Sammy Watkins. You never know how that might motivate those 2 to perform. We'll have to see. And the Ravens, they do have some guys on defense. I mean, you have to always take that into account. Marlon Humphrey is one of the best corners in the game. And even though Marcus Peters went down, they still have a fairly good secondary. Their defensive line, we'll see what happens there. One of their biggest problems in recent years is that they failed to have any sort of pass rush on Mahomes. In the offseason, they signed Justin Houston, and they drafted Jason Owe from Penn State. I'm not sure I'm sold on either of them because Jason Owe, he never had a sack in college. Like, he has all the potential in the world, extreme athletic ability, no production, though. You're basically banking on his potential. Justin Houston, we all love him, the former Chief, but you swap Matthew Judon for Justin Houston. To me, that's a wash. Those are two guys that are probably they have similar value at this point in their career. I just mean, like, obviously Matthew Judon's a little bit younger. I think teams value him a little bit more on the open market, as we saw this past offseason, but like production-wise, like, I don't expect too much difference from either of those two. So, I mean, the Ravens game will be interesting. I to be honest, though, I kind of see Mahomes picking apart that defense again, especially if they don't have any pass rush. You got the new and improved offensive line that looks even better than last year. So that's really what my opinion is. Eddie Rose talking about Mizzou. Boston College will be fun. It will be fun. Dude, they just came out with the time for that game, 11 a.m. kickoff a few hours ago, and I was waiting to see what the kickoff was so I could set my availability for work around the game. And I'm like, come on, when's the game going to be? But, that's going to be a fun one. And that Boston College is a team that Eli Drinkwitz had an offer from. He could coach there. And I think that's kind of something he has in the back of mind for this game. He wants to show why he picked Mizzou over Boston College. The beat of Kansas City, he is in the chat. Beat of Kansas City, nice to see you. He goes, can you provide your thoughts on Juan Thornhill yesterday? Yeah, Juan Thornhill looked amazing. And I'm going to take Lucas's chat comment off the screen for a second so you guys can see that number, 636-875-2782. If you want to call into the show and talk about the game yesterday with me, please go ahead. We will have you on the show. I'd be more than happy to talk to you guys. But for now, answering Lucas's question, he says, can you provide your thoughts on Juan Thornhill from yesterday? There was one play at the very beginning of the game where he looked out of place and he got kind of burned. I forget who it was that was on that play for the Browns, but outside of that, I thought he recovered really well. He had a really good game. He was the one that caused the Nick Chubb fumble. He stuck his head in that tackle and got a crucial turnover in that game. And then he also had the pass that he batted out of the arms of, who was it? Anthony Schwartz. That was a heads-up play going for the ball there. Great coverage by Thornhill, and I got to say I'm impressed because I was worried about him going into the season, but he showed yesterday why the Chiefs drafted him in the second round and why they're so high on him still, and I loved what I saw. I really did, and I hope he gets even better as the Honey Badger makes his way back to the lineup. Marlon Suddington says, okay, this year Mahomes going to be better than 2018 Mahomes. That's what I predicted, and I don't think that's a stretch because Mahomes he has a better offensive line than he's ever had since he's gotten to Kansas City, at least talent-wise. 2018, that offensive line was really good. You got to remember with Mitch Morse in the middle. The Chiefs have not had center play that holds a candle to what Mitch Morse did when he was here, and that explains why the run game has gone down. That explains why Mahomes gets pressured a lot more from that interior back when it was Austin Ryder and Andrew Wiley and those guys. But this offensive line is probably the best he's ever had since he's been here. And his receivers, even though I complain about them outside of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, I mean, those are guys that can get Mahomes to another 50 touchdown, 5,000 yard season. I have no doubt in my mind, like, what's stopping him? And let's be honest, guys, if you have a defense that is bad, let's just say that the defense continues to struggle and it was how it was yesterday. Mahomes, even though the time of possession will be harder to win, if the defense is just allowing teams to score at will and drive down the field, Mahomes is going to get the ball back quicker. Because sometimes when you have a good defense, it's a bend don't break defense for the Chiefs. I think we can say the past couple of years their defense has been bend but don't break, and sometimes that allows teams to hold on to the ball for a long time and keep the ball away from Mahomes. We'll have to see though. Also, if you have defense that can create more turnovers. It gives Mahomes the ball back, and that'll, in theory, make the offense better, let them score more points. So either way, I mean, there's an argument for either side. But yeah, I think all in all, there's no reason Mahomes can't have that type of season again like he had in 2018. We'll go for about 10 more minutes here. I know this is the first call-in show I've ever done. We only had one caller, and that was Marlon. I'm hoping to do these every Victory Monday. And even if the Chiefs lose, like, yeah, I will still have a call-in show because when the Chiefs lose, I'll have stuff to say and we can hop on here and talk about it and share our frustrations with each other. But yeah, you guys, the number's in the bottom left, 636-875-2782. Go ahead and call that number. I will put you on speaker and we'll have you on the show and we can talk Chiefs. Like I'm opening the phone lines for you guys to talk Chiefs with me. Would love to hear from you guys. But we'll go for about 10 more minutes here. I know it's kind of something that I didn't prepare you guys for. I want to reiterate that. So I just wanted to try it out for the first time, but I'm glad those of you that could make it. And while you're here, please like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And you can always help the channel by donating through a super chat. But yeah, I mean, we have to remember too, the Browns are a really good team. Like they're very talented. And I know everyone was up in arms about, the Chiefs. Oh, we got a caller actually. Here we go. All right, call from the 816. What's up? Tell us. Oh, it's Connor. Connor, what's up, man? He's calling into the show.
You didn't have a contact screen?
But no, I don't. Not at the moment.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Dude, I've called you so many times, dog.
Are you in school right now?
Yes, I'm sitting at lunch right now.
All right, Connor, Connor, what do you have to say about the Chiefs and their game yesterday?
I don't know. If only we hosted a podcast yesterday, bro.
Do you have any new thoughts that you formed since you went to bed last night?
No, I don't.
Well, sounds like Connor doesn't have much to say. So, Connor, I'm sorry. We'll move on from you, and we'll let you finish your lunch. Yeah, so, I mean, as I was saying, the Browns are a really good team. We can't forget that. I know there was a lot of people that were fussing on Twitter that someone tweeted that the Browns have a more talented roster than the Chiefs. And honestly, that's kind of true. But the difference is the Chiefs have a much better quarterback, and they have Andy Reid. And that's the edge. But yes, the Browns have a really talented, deep roster. The Chiefs are more top-heavy. They're still top-heavy. Even though they worked on their depth this offseason, they're still a top-heavy team. But we have to remember the Browns are a really good opponent. So that was a good test early on, and the Chiefs responded well. They started out slow, but eventually the defense settled down in the fourth quarter. The offense got firing on all cylinders, and it was the Chiefs that we've all come to know and love. Terry Cluner's in the chat. What's up, Terry? Hopefully you get back on Twitter soon because we miss you there. But he said the Rams look incredible. Yeah, have to admit, they looked really good last night. Looks like Matthew Stafford is the upgrade everyone talked about him being this offseason. Now that they have a functional quarterback, they have a much higher ceiling, and that defense has still got a lot of talent too. They lost John Johnson and Troy Hill this offseason to the Browns, but Fuller was an up-and-coming player in that secondary. You still got Jalen Ramsey. Their defensive line is very deep as well, and I mean, we'll have to see how they look against a better opponent because the Bears, I mean, their defense, they're not good. Their secondary is not good. We saw there was a lot of communication on one of Cooper Kupp's touchdowns. I mean, he was wide open. The Bears defender just stopped running. That was bad. But yeah, the Rams look really good, I have to admit. Even though I hate Stan Kroenke and that organization, they've looked really good. Marlon Suddington says Andy should have went for it on fourth down more. Yeah, I agree. The fourth down almost came back to bite them. That fourth down call where he punted it was like 4th and 2. I mean, it would be different if it was like 4th and 4, 4th and 5. That would have been a bit more difficult. But man, 4th and 2. I mean, that's like 2 steps, man. 4th and 2. You got one of the best offenses in the league. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Andy Reid's play calling, which I criticize a lot at times, but he can draw up some really good plays. And you kick the field goal when you're playing the Browns, a team that can definitely catch you on the wrong day. That was questionable. If the Chiefs lost that game, that would have been the biggest talking points coming out of it is what the heck was Andy Reid thinking? And then there was another play later in the game where he didn't go for it either, I believe. And we got really frustrated about that. Also, I was not a fan of how many trick plays they ran or trick formations they ran. Like at some point, we got to stop getting cute. We got to fix the red zone offense. You know, you invested all this in the offensive line, try to run it down their throat. Like push the ball downfield. Don't go east and west all the time. You don't need to do all this cute stuff. I mean, we have all this personnel, and again, Andy Reid, who's a great coach and a great offensive play caller, and for some reason we struggle in the red zone. Another thing that bothered me, Jerick McKinnon, he only had 4 snaps yesterday. I mean, Jerick McKinnon is someone that I thought looked really good in preseason. They barely use him. He's a Swiss Army knife, a safety valve who can run out of the backfield. He's also got really good speed, good hands. He's a do-it-all back, and you didn't use him at all when your red zone offense was struggling. I thought that he was a major piece, and they just failed to use him yesterday. Maybe they're waiting to unveil him, but we'll have to see. I was disappointed, though. Marlon says, Josh, follow me back. I want to talk Chiefs when we can on Twitter. Yeah, sorry. I thought I already was following you. Maybe it's because you're in my mentions so much. I just assumed I was following you. But yeah, I'll do that after. Terry also says, when does Mizzou make the move to Cook? Man, Terry, I don't know. Bazelak to me is still the best option at the moment, but I'm concerned about his deep ball. Like he's just not accurate on the deep ball for whatever reason. And some of it is because the offensive line isn't giving him enough push to be comfortable throwing downfield. And let's be honest, Mizzou, they still need to increase the talent that they have at the receiver position, but they do still have guys that can get open. And there's been guys that have been open several times, like Dominic Lovett, for example, who's a burner downfield. And Bazelak is just missing him deep. And to me, sometimes Bazelak looks scared to test defense downfield. He did a lot of dinking and dunking, and he did a lot of checkdowns when they didn't need him. Screen plays on 3rd and long. Like what? To me, I was not a fan of that, and I don't know if that's Drinkwitz's play calling just being really questionable, or if Drink is calling these plays because he's not confident in Bazelak, but something's not clicking there for whatever reason. And Eddie Rose says he agrees on Bazelak. Yeah, I think that's becoming kind of the sentiment about Bazelak, is he's got to show accuracy with the deep ball, and he has to show improvement. Like to me, the shine is wearing off Bazelak a little bit. Like he has to show something. And to me, he needs to look like he cares a little bit more. I know he's a choir dude. He likes to lead by example, but get loud, get in someone's face, act like you care. I was jealous of what Kentucky had at the quarterback position with Will Levis. That guy was running people over. He was loud. He was kind of cocky, but he was confident. He got the team going. I haven't seen that out of Bazelak. If you take away the LSU game from last year, what really has Bazelak done? Like, what has he done that really makes you go, man, yeah, he's the guy. I get it. He's the SEC Freshman of the Year. Only 7 passing touchdowns last year for a team I feel like should have had more. I just hope he gets better with the deep ball and just takes advantage of the downfield opportunities more. We'll see. Marlon, yeah, you are one of my only friends, aren't you? Terry agrees. We're coming up on half an hour here, which is about how long I said I would go. So, yeah, I will end it here in a minute. That's pretty much all I got. But if any of you want to call in last minute, I'm taking in calls right now. If you want to call into the show and talk about the Chiefs game yesterday, 636-875-2782. If you want to call into the show. Terry also says he ran the triple option in high school. He's not really a passer. Yeah. Also, maybe his deficient passing is also because of because he ran the triple option in high school. Like he was just not used to the offense that Mizzou is running now. But I don't know. I would have to look back and see if they ran the triple option because his high school coaches didn't like him as a passer either. But from what I saw in his highlights, he didn't have that kind of problem when he was in high school. Obviously, college is a different game, but I hope we see some improvement from Bazelak. But yeah, guys, we're at about half an hour now. So unless I get a last-second miracle call here, I'll go ahead and end it. But like I said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and kckingdom.com. And I will try to do this every Monday after the game, sometime earlier in the morning or at around lunchtime. For those of you that are interested, you can call into the show and we can talk about the Chiefs game. But all that being said, I will catch you guys after the next one. Peace.